If you are my friend, you're already aware how fearful I am of the camera. Like, I make sure that I'm away from selfies, photographs. I know when people are going to click, so I make sure I turn around, move away, look in the other direction. I have known my fear with camera ever since I've grown, so nothing about this is new, but I wanted to try something different today. And so I sat down in front of a camera looking at myself speaking. I look horrible at places, and if you pause in, you can screenshot and send it to me. But I just wanted to give it a try because, hey, I'm getting old and I don't have a lot of time, honestly. So I don't know myself if I'm doing okay, honestly. My days are repetitive and they almost look the same. I wake up, prepare my breakfast, get down to do some reading, do some household chores, get done with them, do some more of self studying. If I have work, some freelance thing, then I make sure I do that. And then the day just draws itself to a close. I usually go out for a walk, um, listening to songs. Then I come back and get back to my readings and stuff, or Netflix, something. And these have been my days. So I don't know if I'm doing okay. I just seem to be doing something. So a lot of you ask me what's my dream, and I don't really know how to answer this question. At the heart of it, I want to build a lifestyle for me which is away from what I consider to be normal, which is having a full time job, having a family, raising kids, and finally settling down in your life. I actually don't want that to be my lifestyle. So I'm trying to build an alternate lifestyle for me, for people who want to be um, single or an alternate ways of being. I don't know how it's gonna span out, honestly, but I do have some friends who have had their single lifestyles, and though I do not want to replicate them, I genuinely want to learn from them and build something of my own. As for professionally, I don't know, but I have this very undiscovered urge to create something of my own. I only got it very, very recently. I always thought of myself as a theory kind of a guy who speaks, talks, right? But now I want to create stuff. So, yeah, if I could bring back the past days, I mean, I wish I could, but can we? Not sure. But I enjoyed the times that we had, right? And if we can't replicate the time that we had, maybe we can make newer memories. So I'm open to that. Let's meet and make some new memories soon. This question, let me spill the tea. So the context here is that I was having this conversation with my friend, and suddenly they asked me if I don't know. Suddenly the things got really sad, and I was upset, and I said, hey, if I were able to do this and this, I would be like really, really free. And so the question sort of hit home, kind of reminded me of the conversation we had. But what does freedom actually mean to me? If you know me, you know how uptight I am. My body really tells me I'm very uptight, I'm very constricted. But if I just open up, if one day magically I sort of open up, my body will behave differently. So when I'm with myself, my body becomes expansive, it opens up. And so I walked throughout the city whole day really uptight, my stomach in and my breath control, my hands in a particular way, the way that I'm able to move my hands the way that I want, the day that I'm able to say things without having the judgment of being looked a certain way. I think I'll see freedom for sure. As I'm like turning this old, I thought of myself, how much time do I have to be able to live the way that I want to live? And so I said, there's just a very limited time, and I have to make use of this time. And I can't wait one day when things will be fine, and then I can start to live freely. I want to be able to live freely right now. And I was having this conversation with my sister, and I told her that, there are ways that I want to live, and I don't think I need to wait for a day to actually live the way that I want. That's what freedom is. You live the way that you do, I live the way that I want to do. And what does that mean? have to come to realize and be okay with my pure existence. I am already. It's just that um it's just that only I'm aware of that, and I want to be able to live a lifestyle where I don't have to hide it. And there are other things that I would hide, but not this. If I were open about my thoughts, my feelings, and the way that I think of my life, then my equation with everybody would be so much more open. I think I would be more outgoing and more confident of my own self. Right now, I'm just coon because I do not want to be read. I don't want anybody to understand me. I don't want anybody to get me, because if they get to know me, then what happens? So in my family and around, I'm very constricted. I'm very limited in my words and opinions. I do not really share, which means that I've not been able to build long lasting relationships. And I've not been able to build truly genuine relationships because I've never opened up with anybody. Freedom to me is also opening up and being able to allow people into my lives and being able to let myself into other people's life as well. I think all of my relationships could be better if I were just open. Also, you know how the way that you want to live. So sometimes at home that there are certain Hindu rituals that I'm against, and I do not want to be practicing that. In an ideal life, I would want to give them up, right? So is that negotiation possible in my own house? Not sure. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. um, if I escape from this part of my life, will be able to practice the life that I want to, maybe. So that's what freedom to me is. I'm trying. I'm trying. I think my dad. I'm scared of losing him the most, despite our troubled relationship. I think having your father around gives you some sort of strength. Having him has supported me financially and to a certain degree otherwise as well. I'm scared of losing him in this life. What I'm scared of equally is becoming like him. I would never want to be like my dad, and my biggest fear is actually becoming like him. But you know, I'm also scared of not being able to do anything that I want to do in this life, like becoming utterly wasteful. This is Sylvia Plath quote that keeps hitting me every night, and I think I'm scared of that. I'm scared of being this person who's good for nothing and has nothing really to contribute to this world and does absolutely nothing. So I am very scared of being that person. You know, this sense of failure, this sense of failing every day and not being able to do anything is what gives me the sense of life. Honestly, failures make you really, really humble. And I'm not saying this because I read it somewhere. This has been my life. It makes you absolutely, absolutely humble. Now think of it like that. You know, you wake up every day and you have absolutely nothing to do, and you sleep every day without having done anything or achieved anything. This phase of life tells you so much about your own self. When you're not an attribute of what you do, is when you know who you are as a person. It's easier to confuse who you are by saying, hey, I work here, I do this, I have done this in the past. And when you tie your self worth to your work, when you do not have work or anything to do, you will struggle to explain yourself. You will struggle to introduce yourself. You will no longer be a student, or you will no longer be a journalist, and you will no longer be a video producer. And who are you at the end of the day? I think that makes you like really, really humble. It tells you that these identities could also confuse you, and they will always be a part of you, but they will never be you. So I think this sense of failure has given me that. This is also the point in my life where my escapist tendencies have come to a standstill. Honestly, when I was a kid, I would cut out these advertisements from newspapers which would carry ads of going on a vacation to Dubai or Paris, right? And I would cut them and then like paste it on a notebook so that when I would require them, I wouldn't really have to struggle. When I was in class 5, I decided to apply for a school in the hills. I got in, Then when I went to college, I applied to a bunch of places. Unfortunately, I ended up being at DU, but I did apply and got into several universities at that point in time. And then when I could afford to, I went to Chennai on an escapist mode myself. I came back, and since then, I have stayed briefly in Mumbai for several months in Gurgaon. Always wanted to escape. Like, I wanted to escape from the family that I was in. I wanted to escape from this part of the city that I'm in, that I've grown up all my life. My escapist tendencies right now have come to a stop because trying to see if what happens when you accept your reality and you I would say it's good to have ambitions, but I don't know, those ambitions have been eating me up like crazy. And for the first time in my life, I realized, oh, there is something called settling down in life, and there is something called, oh, you have your parents around, or there's something called like a good part of your life is tied, so you can't really escape this part of life. It will always be a part of you. I still would want to travel and still would want to explore other things, other ways of being. I think my escapist tendencies of always wanting to jump away and get out of the city have like severely reduced. It gives me another sense of life from recognizing that you fail. You do not always have the luxury of escaping, and what are you really escaping from? And would you if you go to other place, then what are the other things that you'll be escaping from there? So okay, I need to realize what I'm escaping from in general, to know if I don't, my life does not become a relay race of escapes. And this brings me to my final question: is this friend asking the first time I saw them versus the first time I saw them while we were close. I do not exactly know when we got close. It just happened. We became close. But let me try and answer this question. The first time I actually saw you, remember vividly, you were with Roro out in the streets outside ACJ smoking. Yeah, you always radiated this self-confident energy. That particular point in time, I thought you guys were staring at me, and that made me really uncomfortable. Yeah, that was my first impression of you. My last impression of you was actually like really comfortable. You know that there are very few people that I get comfortable around. There is that. We've had great conversations. Still feel that you're a confident bitch. You are a confident bitch. Um, yeah, I mean, yeah, it's just so much comfy right now, right? Because I don't know, it's just that's what being close does, I guess. It just makes you really comfortable around people you never imagine yourself to be. Um, so yeah, there is that. It's been a journey, right? It's been a journey. So this is the end. Literally none of you, nobody asked me really fun questions. You all asked me like very serious questions. Yeah, I need new friends. But thanks for doing this. Genuinely, I haven't really sat down in front of a camera and looked at myself. So, this is new. And as you might have all noticed, is that I have grown very distant. Is not because I'm voluntarily making myself distant from each one of you, planning in my head, oh, I wouldn't reply to them, I wouldn't speak to them. But it's just that this phase is very lonely. So to make sense of what I'm doing, like to make sense of who I am at this point in time is tough. Things are worrying, and hopefully, when my mental state is so much better, uh, then I'll be fine. But right now, this is who I am. This is who I am. This is who I am. Could I have made those answers any more funny? I don't know. I mean, I spoke what I had to speak. Not take them very seriously. Do not quote me on this because my dreams will change. Yeah, maybe I would want to be doing something else tomorrow. Who knows? And if you bothered, my fan is at an off and I don't have a light, so I'm using sunlight. So there's a lot of sunlight and there's a lot of sweat on me. And I've been speaking for like half an hour now, so I think I should shut up and switch on the fan and drink some water. A gentle reminder to drink water, please. Meet me soon. Meet me soon.